Hi, this is Morley and this is the M-Wire. Well, on the heels of my last video, this is what you get when you defund the police. People get organized and they defend themselves. I mean, it's an inherent right to protect yourself in the United States. It's called the Second Amendment. It's basic human nature as well. So people are getting organized in Minneapolis and forming militias to counteract the lack of police presence on the streets. And who can blame them? I also did a video, I'll put a link in the description box on the coming Civil War. Like, this is the beginning of Civil War, folks. You may think not, but I mean, in democratic states like Minnesota and Seattle, this is going to be a coming trend. You watch and see. It doesn't matter where you live or how you go about your daily life, the Second American Civil War can no longer be denied. I agree with that. Left-wing militants and domestic terrorists continue to destroy the rule of law and collapse American democracy, using political violence to assume power. These Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots are showing no sign of stopping. Like waking up from a hangover, Americans are slowly coming to terms with the fact that these groups do not reason, do not understand, or do not wish to be understood. They are mercilessly burn the flag, topple statues, and burn businesses week after week, and they have a list of demands. If you do not agree, you are the enemy, expendable. As law enforcement is overrun by crime and mob violence, Americans must adapt and take the most logical next step to preserve their life and liberty. Soon many Americans will find they have no choice but to defend their lives, their property, their family, and their freedom with kinetic action, a counter-force of resolve. Minneapolis residents band together, forming militias to protect their neighborhoods. Minneapolis residents are now forming militias to deal with the explosion of left-wing political violence. The untouched clause of the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution is now invoked. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Residents in Minneapolis were just overrun by riots and are constantly in a state of recovery, not knowing when or where the mob is going to strike next. This has unleashed a tidal wave of crime that now exists out in the open. As police precincts are shuttered and law enforcement denigrated, residents have no choice but to create security which groups and militias to police their neighborhoods. These newly formed militias are the next logical step to counter the surge in crime. These Minneapolis residents are doing the right thing, keeping the mob from running through roughshod in their lives. In Minneapolis's 3rd precinct, the police station was abandoned and burned in June. The commercial businesses looted. Since then, residents have suffered through a surge of shootings and drug-related crime in the precinct, with no one to come to help. It got to the point where crime had no consequences, said Tanya Rivera, a 30-year-old child care worker who lives among the hell. It was being done deliberately out in the open, drive-through drug dealing, drive-through prostitution, everything from gunshots to assaults to sex out in the public, everything you didn't want in your neighborhood to look like. In order to increase their safety, residents have held community meetings and chose to block off 2 street sections using whatever they had available. Good men had to patrol the neighborhood at night, kicking out anyone who didn't belong. The Democrat-run city of Minneapolis is failing to protect its residents, and now they must stay awake at night patrolling their own neighborhoods. No one wants to live in a country where there are patrols on every street where you can be kicked out of it by the neighborhood militia. But as Democrat-run cities do away with law enforcement and allow thugs to take over the justice system, this is what America will get: dilapidated neighborhoods, fearful inner cities fraught with civil war. Well, I thank you very much for listening. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm interested in what you have to say about this. Thank you very much, and God bless.